Good morning. My name is Louise Rachin, and I serve this congregation as a member of the Worship and Music Committee. I will be leading this morning's service along with Reverend Marc Fredette, as it's Rev Dave's day off. Welcome to First Parish UU of Medfield, and an especially warm welcome to all who are visiting. We hope you will stay for social hour downstairs following the service, and welcome to all streaming in from home. This congregation first gathered in 1651, settling on this land that was and still is now the homeland of the Nipmuc Nation, who inhabited this area for thousands of years. Their land was taken by force, and their lives were oppressed by the European colonists who settled this town, this state, this nation. However, despite this atrocity, Nipmuc descendants continue to live here today. And as Unitarian Universalists, we are called to name the wrongs committed against Indigenous people and to work to dismantle the systems of oppression that continue to harm Indigenous people today. Holding all of this in our hearts, we welcome you to this place. Here we search for truth and understanding. Here we celebrate life and contemplate its mysteries. Here we share healing and wholeness. So whoever you are, wherever you're from, whatever you believe, whomever you love, we welcome you to this congregation. And Eva, if you would like to play our opening response. And now I invite Michael Dewhurst and his abled assistant, Ressa, to maybe come up. Or are you going to just sit there and be in the crowd? Okay.
You can come up.
Whatever you want.
This morning's chalice lighting is O Light of Life by Samuel A. Trumbore. O Light of Life, be kindled again in our hearts as we meet together this morning to celebrate the joy of human community, seeking a wholeness that extends beyond ourselves.
Just take this one. Sure. And now I invite you to join me in reading lines 1, 2, and 4 of our covenant, and it's found on the last page of the order of service. And please rise if you're willing and able. Love is the foundation and the spirit of our congregation, and we declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity. As people of goodwill, we covenant with one another to listen to one another with empathy and kindness to build trust. And don't sit down yet, because we're going to be singing hymn number 18, What Wondrous Love, which is found in your gray hymnal. Now is our time for Moment for All Ages. Hello, beautiful children, and some beautiful parents. Last year, just around this time, a gentleman by the name of Mike Jones, who I work with at Chaplains on the Way. Many of you know about our program. It is an organization that supports unhoused or homeless folks in the Waltham area. And at that time, when Mike came to speak to us, for our Moment for All Ages, I read from this book. And Malcolm, you might even remember this because we talked a lot about the pictures. So this book is called I See You. And what's different about this book from many other books, there's no words. The pictures tell the story, and there's a saying that a picture tells 1,000 words. And when I was getting ready to lead this Moment for All Ages, I tried to find a book about people who don't have a house like we do. But I kept coming back to this book because the pictures do tell 1,000 words. So I'm going to show you some pictures, and you can tell me what you see. I'm just going to go around and give everybody a little bit of a chance. Wow. You've got an edge because you remember the book. But if you see, there's a lot of people.
Everybody has color, but this one guy next to the bus.
Yeah. And does it almost look like she's an older woman and she looks a little messy and she's got a bunch of stuff around her that might be her belongings. And does she look invisible to you? Because she's gray and everybody else is illustrated in very colorful ways. So people continue to go, you know what, you hold the book. I think we've got a plan now that's going to work. So people go out doing their business, they're going around, and
This boy.
yeah,
In the other page you can see it too. He's the only one looking.
that's right. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, Malcolm. What Malcolm remembers, so obviously this is a pretty good book, because we haven't even got to that page yet. And Malcolm remembers something, and I'm going to test you all. Can anybody tell me what the UU number 1 first principle talks about?
Kindness. What is it? Kindness and respect.
Kindness and respect.
And responsibility.
And responsibility, all wonderful things. Duncan, I'm going to see if you've been paying attention for the last 25 years. Do you know what the first principle of UU service is?
Well, I remember the inherent worth and dignity of every person. I don't know if that's number 1, but that's certainly one of them.
Well done, Duncan. You've been paying attention. So, I'm going to just, Duncan, if you would just, we'll turn the page. It's hard doing this with a picture book, but, all right. So, what do you see in these pictures? Good idea. Say that again.
She has like rags and like cloth. She looks tired.
I guess when you don't have a bed to sleep in, you get tired, huh?
These people are like, ugh. These people are like, ugh.
Yeah. They don't want her around. Now she's not so invisible because she's getting in their space.
The boy that was looking at her isn't in this picture.
Not you're right. Not yet. Dress up? Anything? No? Okay. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Wow. Not only are they, well, at one point they were ignoring her. What are they doing now, Malcolm?
She went into this store.
Yeah.
And then she was rushing out because the owner is like, get out of here, because she has a broom and she's like sweeping her away.
Is that being kind and respectful? Okay, moving right along. So now we see the boy. The boy is here, right here. and he's having an ice cream, having a lovely time. That might be his mother, I'm not quite sure. And this is the first time he notices her. Still gray, still invisible. All right. She's still gray, and she's surrounded by all these people, and are they being nice to her? Are they saying good morning?
They're ignoring her, and then on this page, she's walking in. Everybody's being looking at her in a mean way.
Looking at her in a mean way.
She looked kind of sad. Everybody wasn't acting to her nicely, but the little boy was kind of concerned about her.
Have you read this book before? That was such a great summary of what's going on so far. Okay, we're going to skip that page just because we want to be respectful of our time. Okay, so now what's happening?
She's like looking at the girl, boy, I don't know if that's her hair or a scarf.
So it's getting colder.
It looks like the boy is gonna give her food.
It's the first time it's just the two of them interacting, right?
The guy's like holding a burrito.
I bet she'd like a bite of that burrito or the whole burrito. What do you think?
That the boy's sad because if you see on his face,
You can
he
see it.
looks sad because the old woman has no food.
On the other page, It kind of looks like the boy was trying to help her.
He was. And you can tell, because now he's up in his warm house looking down at her, and she's in what's called a bus stop. And does she look warm and comfortable? No. Okay.
About this page.
Official.
I had something to say about that.
Okay. While we're finding the page, how come you hold the mic? Oh, okay. So, just want to go to one page, and what's happening right here?
The boy is giving her colored clothes. Well, actually, he's being kind to her, and then the old woman's clothes is getting all colored. But if you see in all the other pages, she's gray.
So is this little boy teaching all the grown-ups something that they should have known about? And it's being kind, because once they saw the little boy's act of kindness and respect and recognizing the inherent dignity and worth in everybody, she became part of the community to some extent, and she's no longer invisible, right? And that's the end of our Moment for All Ages. And thank you all so much for participating. And thank you, official mic and book holder. And now we'll sing the children out.
Go
And Eva, I will look to you to invite us to either sing or hear the anthem.
Good morning. So today the choir is going to be singing a choir anthem. They can be ready to go as soon as I'm done with this. So we're singing a hymn from the new hymnal, Sing Out Love, which you have heard about. You've been eagerly anticipating, I'm sure, like me, and which we are actually going to start using in our services next week. So you might wonder, how are we going to do the virtual hymnal? Do I have to log into some website? Are we going to project it on the wall? Are we putting screens up? No, John Cornett came up with a great idea that you will actually be accessing the hymns on our website through a private link. So it's going to be firstparishmedfield.org/hymns. And every week, if we are using hymns from the new hymnal, you can find them there. And you can sing along using your phone, iPad, whatever you want. I'll also have a small amount of hymns printed out for in case people don't have a phone with them, that they can sing along with us. So this one is not a sing-along. This is just the choir for today. But starting off next week, we are going to have one of the hymns be Rev Dave asked for the one of the hymns that I wrote that's published in the new hymnal to be the first one that we sing. That was not my idea. So we'll be testing it out next week. But anyways, just wanted to let you know this is sort of a sneak peek of some of the new type of music that you might be hearing in the new hymnal. This one is called My Religion. We sang it at the Open Hymn Sing last month and we all really liked it. Maybe we'll sing it as a congregation at some point, but for today, this is just the choir anthem. And if you have any questions about the virtual hymnal, please feel free to ask me anytime. Thank you.
Now I invite Dewey back again to give us this morning's reading.
Our reading this morning is Isaiah 58, verses 6 through 12. Is this not the fast I choose? To free those who are wrongly imprisoned? To lighten the burden of those who work for you? To let the oppressed go free? And to remove the chains that hold people down? To share your food with the hungry? To give shelter to the homeless? To give clothing to those who need them? And not hide from relatives who need your help? If you get rid of unfair practices, quit blaming victims, quit gossiping about other people's troubles. If you are generous with the hungry and start giving yourselves to the down and out, your lives will begin to glow in the darkness. Your gloom will be transformed into warmth and light. The Lord will guide you continually and provide for you, even in parched places. You will be a well-watered garden, like a gurgling spring that never runs dry. Some of you will rebuild the deserted ruins of your cities and towns, and you'll be known as those who can fix anything. restore old ruins, rebuild and renovate, make the community livable again. Here ends our reading.
Thank you. It is truly my great joy to introduce Reverend Marc Fredette. Marc attended Humboldt State University and the University of California at Santa Barbara, California, before returning to New England in 1988. Prior to his ministry, Marc worked for many years as a computer programmer, training consultant, and software manager in southern New Hampshire. He earned his degree from Harvard Divinity School in 2004 and served congregations in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and Waltham, Massachusetts before retiring from parish ministry in 2021. In the fall of 2024, Marc joined Chaplains on the Way in the role of Director of Chaplaincy and Programs. Whether leading a weekly interfaith service, providing pastoral care, locating a winter coat for a member of our unhoused community, oftentimes from his own closet, or scrambling up some eggs for a breakfast guest, his belief and his practice in celebrating the inherent worth and dignity of every person is always very apparent. This is a man who practiced what he preaches. Marc, you are a blessing in so many lives, including mine. Thank you for joining us.
It's been said many times that no one needs to hear the sermon more than the preacher who wrote it. In 1985, a 9-year-old boy named Kevin was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, a chronic autoimmune disorder that causes pain and inflammation to the joints. Most of the time, these are the small joints of the hands and the feet. But in Kevin's case, it was primarily his hips. By senior year in high school, Kevin had both hips replaced. And he had developed an addiction to fentanyl. By 21, Kevin's parents had cut off all ties with him. And on Kevin's 22nd birthday, homeless, broke, and alone, Kevin overdosed on heroin. If you were like most people, you might read in the paper or online that a 22-year-old has overdosed and think to yourself that such a tragic thing could never happen to anyone you love, and certainly not to your children. Friends, the American dream is a distant one for hundreds of thousands of Americans who don't have a place that they can call home and no place to sleep tonight. Without a permanent roof over their heads, some unhoused people seek refuge in shelters, while others spend their nights in public places that are unfit to sleep in. Imagine how it would feel not to have a home to go to tonight, or to have a bed to call your own, no place to store your belongings. Imagine not having enough money in your pocket to buy something to eat. Imagine how you'd feel knowing that you have family members who won't talk to you, let alone help you. There was a time, not so long ago, when I could not imagine these things. In full disclosure, friends, it wasn't until I began my first parish ministry in Fayetteville, Arkansas, I was then in my early 40s, that I began seeing unhoused people first and foremost as human beings, and their being unhoused as a terrible situation, and hopefully a temporary one. Until I began volunteering at a soup kitchen in Fayetteville in 2004, Without even realizing it, over time, I had come to embrace the appalling idea that somehow homelessness was a person's fault, a series of bad choices, or a lack of intelligence or motivation, that somehow they brought this on themselves. I hear myself admit this to you, and part of me wants to go hide under a rock. There I was. I had just graduated from divinity school, passed my boards with high marks, was ordained by a loving congregation, and had found my first parish ministry, and still there was so little room for homeless people in my heart. It was in that Arkansas soup kitchen that my heart started breaking open little by little. Over time and in conversations with many guests at the soup kitchen, I started seeing how much more alike we were than different. It was the first time I understood that no one chooses to be homeless. I learned about how sibling rivalry had forced Patty to give up living in the family home after her mother died. That a car accident had shattered Romy's right leg so badly that he gave up his job. And then things spun out of control so quickly he was on the street before he realized what was really happening. I learned that sleeping out in the rough could be frightening, especially for women, but that for some women, that was still a better option than the drug trafficking shelter on the other side of town. Lately, I've been pondering the idea that despite the high value many of us place on diversity, we live in a society that places even a higher value on conformity and playing by the rules. But isn't it in that very social conditioning, that wanting to fit in, that enables us to see unhoused people, people who don't or can't or simply won't conform, as other and as undeserving? Think about it. From a very young age, we are subtly, and sometimes not so subtly, taught the right way to behave, the right way to dress, to work, even the right way to think. This social conditioning creates a framework of what's considered normal and acceptable. And when someone falls outside of that framework, whether by choice or circumstance, it can trigger that sense of otherness in those of us who adhere to those norms. And when falling outside that framework results in someone becoming homeless, their very presence often exemplifies that stark departure from the expected norms of housing, employment, social participation. It's almost as if our desire for social cohesion, which is understandable on some level, can inadvertently create these boundaries, these hierarchies. The drive to fit in can make it difficult to truly empathize with those whose lives look drastically different from our own. And therein lies the rub. How can we genuinely embrace diversity if our underlying social structures and conditioning prioritize conformity? It forces us to examine our own biases and the ways in which we might unconsciously perpetuate these divisions ourselves. Might recognizing this dynamic be the first step towards fostering a more inclusive and compassionate society? Our scripture this morning which addresses poverty, hunger, and homelessness, is a text from the Hebrew Bible, from the book of Isaiah, which predates the arrival of Jesus by about 500 years. Is it not to share your bread with the hungry and give shelter to the homeless, to give clothing to those who need them, and not hide from your relatives who may need your help? By some estimates, there are more than 160 passages in the Old Testament demanding kindness and generosity to the poor. The New Testament, over and over and over, emphasizes the importance of caring for the poor and the needy. It calls for generosity, compassion, and action to alleviate suffering and promote justice. And friends, here we are, 2,500 years later, still needing to hear that very exhortation. When we look at another and see the holy in them rather than just what's wrong or what's different, it can transform us both. The miracle happens when we can look into another's eyes and glimpse God's love, recognize our kinship. Jesus once said, "Whatever you do to the least of these, you do also to me." This is that same story. When we see our unhoused sisters and brothers as other, we betray the fact that our religious vision cannot see beyond our own kind of people. But when we treat homeless people as the children of God they truly are and allow ourselves to feel that connection, we may realize that, my God, we're all in this together. In my work with Chaplains on the Way, every day, I am reminded that unhoused people, you know what they want more than anything? They want to be recognized. They want to receive our smiles. More than almost anything, almost more than food, our unhoused guests wish someone would meet their eyes and simply smile and say hello. When that can happen at a very human level, they suddenly become real people. People who bleed when they're cut, shiver when they're cold, cry salty tears, and hurt so deeply when they are sloughed off as though they weren't people at all, but only objects that clutter up our streets. What would happen to us, I wonder? What would happen to our society if we stopped seeing unhoused people as problems and began seeing them as the children of God most of us like to think we are? What kinds of laws would we then fight to change? What kinds of safety nets might we then work to create? Even the most fortunate of us, friends, is little more than one serious brain injury or a few financial disasters away from the streets. We don't think it could happen to us, but once they didn't think it could happen to them. What happens to us when we stop seeing poor, hungry, and homeless people as objects and see them as our brothers and sisters? Something in us looks into them. Something in them looks into us. And we say, hello, I recognize you. You are like me. I know your hopes and dreams and fears because I have them too. One thing I'm sure of is that once we see how much we are alike, how much we really are all God, Goddess's children, that it can change our world. Then the homeless people are no longer the dregs of life. They are life's essence. We know then that our souls come from the same stuff, are woven of the same fabric of hopes, yearnings, and fears, that we are all trying to find our way home. In a spiritual sense, we become homeless together. As children alone in the world, with only ourselves and each other to count on. You may wonder how that could really change the world. The truth is that it's about the only thing that can. I began this morning telling you about a boy named Kevin who overdosed when he was 22. He did overdose. He did not die. And during his recovery, he met Reverend Becky at Chaplains on the Way. And over time, and with help and encouragement, Kevin jump-started his life. Some of you may know Kevin as KJ, the sexton at First Parish Church in Waltham, where the breakfast program takes place. KJ's life is far from easy, but it's also far from over. He may be in recovery, but he's also a son and a brother, an uncle, a co-worker, and a friend. Chaplains on the Way was a lifeline for Kevin, and it is for many of the guests we greet each morning. But please remember that it is only because of you and your generous hearts and dedicated volunteers and donors that Chaplains on the Way exists at all. I remember when it didn't. So if you'd like to learn more about Chaplains on the Way and the breakfast program, I'd be happy to talk following the service. Thanks for listening. Blessed be. Let's join now in the spirit of prayer and meditation. Gracious Spirit of life, known by many names, yet by no name fully known, we come to you this morning with full hearts. The world is hurting. Our country is aching in every corner, and we turn to you for consolation. We turn to you for assurance. The world of our expectations suddenly seems off balance, unsafe, and many of us are anxious. Where do we turn when our hearts are heavy with bewilderment and our spirits baffled by the mystery of life? There is so much we cannot understand, and we are often on the verge of despair at what seems a collective disdain for the sanctity of all life. Dare we believe that you suffer with us, that the strange chances of our mortality are the splendid risk you and we take together? Spirit of justice, stay close to those who must sleep on the streets this night, in temporary shelters or in a doorway or under a bridge, and those who fear their friends' hospitality may be at a breaking point. You are the caller. You are the poor. You are the wanderer. You are the stranger at my door. You are the unhoused with no bed. You are the child crying in pain. You are the other who comes to open my eyes that I may see. Help us to see the world with fresh eyes. Nudge us to recognize the fragility of all life, and may that knowledge strengthen our resolve to act compassionately and join with others to shelter the unhoused, to feed the hungry, to care for the injured, the elderly, and the infirmed. Help us build a fairer society where having no home does not exclude anyone from work and health and respect. Help us to build a society where all may dwell in safety. Let me see your light in others. Let others see your light in me. Spirit of undying hope, having opened our hearts to these specific needs, we now offer our heartfelt intentions this day for all people, for all those who mourn, for those undergoing treatment, for those living with uncertainty, for all those whose lives are clouded with troubles and confusion of every kind. There is no shortage of heartache in this world. May all beings know the peace that we share here in community this very moment. As we sit together as one body, bless all those who pray with stones and beads. Bless those who pray kneeling, and bless those whose prayer is a struggle, whose prayer is expressed in a profound silence and in feelings that no human words can express. This we ask in the name of all that is precious and sacred. Blessed be. And now Mary Carthel will introduce this morning's offering.
Good morning. The offering today is in the spirit of caring for this congregation that is hundreds of years old, and we are the stewards of this moment. This offering is also given for the sacred space that exists in this building, for the music we hear every Sunday, and the message that comes from the people who grace us with wisdom and charge us with justice and caring for it. This offering this morning is also to be shared with chaplains on the way. And Marc, thank you for your message this morning. And whatever amount we give, it's enough. And it reminds us that when we give, there's always enough. And I think from my perspective, learning that message has been truly an honor to know. So whatever anyone gives will be gratefully received, and we appreciate and accept the offering with gratitude.
Friends, please rise as you're able, willing, and join in singing hymn number 121, We'll Build a Land. We'll build a land captives go free, where the oil of gladness falls on brothers, anointed by God, may them create peace. Justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like Please be seated. Friends, may our time together and the reflections we've shared on homelessness stay with you in the week to come. We often say our service is over, but our work has just begun. Well, I'd like to offer an invitation, a challenge perhaps, to carry this work forward as a kind of spiritual homework. The invitation is simply to do something to keep your heart and your mind open to this theme for the coming week. You might read an essay or a story that deepens your understanding. Or maybe you could research the organizations in your own communities who shelter and support our unhoused neighbors. Perhaps you'll feel called to write a poem, a journal entry, or just a quiet reflection. Or maybe the work is simply to see, to intentionally look for the invisible. And if you pass someone you suspect may be unhoused, I invite you to do the bravest work of all. Meet their eyes, smile, and offer a simple human hello, acknowledging the light and life within them and you. Go in peace and go do the work of love and justice. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be.